Jen Psaki, you spent time last week in Braddock in western Pennsylvania, where you spent a day walking block to block with a group of women canvassing for Planned Parenthood. In this clip, you ask a canvasser about the issues she's hearing are important to voters. And after that, we're going to see an exchange with a Pennsylvania mother of four.
Women are really engaged. Women are fired up. A lot of women, when we would ask them the question of what is the primary issue for them, they would just say, "Oh, where do I start?"
They talk about it as abortion rights. Like, what else? What do they bring up as other issues that are of concern to them?
I don't know if I think it's as much abortion rights as it is that they feel that their freedoms are being taken away. It's almost as if you think of what's next, what happens next. And the economy is definitely something that people are talking about. But when it comes to women that are a little older, we've seen inflation before. We know that will come down. But this is something that's different. This is something that feels more immediate and permanent, maybe.
Hi, Amanda. My name is Robin. I'm with Planned Parenthood Votes. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of the candidates that are running in this election.
I am.
You are? Okay. Josh Shapiro, he's running for governor. Well, the one thing about Shapiro that's really going to be important, and I know you have children, is that he is going to protect the rights of women.
Okay. Well, that's
He
a
is
plus
going.
then.
That's going to
a
be
plus.
very important. So he's going to
Absolutely.
protect health care. He's also going to protect our abortion rights, which are
Okay.
important as well. Because as you
important
know,
as
the
well,
Supreme
yeah.
Court just struck down Roe v. Wade, and they've
That's
turned
what
it
I
back to
thought,
the
yeah.
states. So
Yeah.
we
And
states.
that's pretty ridiculous.
So, what's most important to you as you're thinking about who to vote for? What do you care about the most?
As a mother of 4 children, the jobs, they say that all these jobs are out there, but they don't want to pay enough for you to actually live off of the job. So, I'd like there to be, more jobs available with the flexibility, to be able to actually work and take care of your family and not have to worry about choosing one, because I'm in that situation now, I need to go back to work, but I can't afford to pay for childcare.
And childcare, is that something with
Yeah.
4 kids? Is that
Yeah,
something that's
it's-
really keeping you up at night?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't afford it, I mean, we're probably living off of maybe $400 a week, which is more than some people make, but isn't enough for 4 kids, and to pay your lights, gas,
Well, thank you. Being a mom of 4 is not
I'm
easy.
probably sure that's not the answer you wanted,
Thank you for
but,
your time. Thank you. And tell the kids we said thanks.
No, no problem.
Yes. So, Robin, we just met Amanda at her door, mother of 4. Tell us a little bit about that conversation.
Amanda is not unusual. I see her everywhere I go. Mothers who have to stay at home because they can't afford childcare. This young lady has 2 kids in school and 2 kids at home. So you can imagine what her life is like, juggling 4 kids and having to feed 4 kids on $400 a week. I mean, it's got to be tough. It really, and my heart goes out to her.
Wow. Jen Psaki, these are great conversations, and I wonder what you think the takeaway from that conversation, which, as the canvasser said, happens many times over, what the takeaway is for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean, Mika, I spent 6 hours following these canvassers around, and there were a lot of conversations exactly like the one Robin just had with Amanda Rivera, because there's a lot going on in people's lives, whether it's concerns about childcare, concerns about the economy. Yes, Amanda and many people we spoke with did care about abortion rights, did care about having those rights taken away. As Domenica, the earlier canvasser, said, oftentimes they talk about that as either rights at risk. It's not the same conversations we're having in Washington. But my biggest takeaway is something Robin Young also told me, which is that we really need to meet people where they are. These were voters they were talking to all day, and this is what the program is around the state of Pennsylvania and in 10 other states across the country, is to go see voters who are unlikely voters. Maybe they don't vote frequently. Maybe they need more information. And what these canvassers are doing, they're from the community, and they're going and saying, do you know who Josh Shapiro is? Do you know who John Fetterman is? Well, what do you think about whether or not you should be able to make decisions about your own health care? Okay, that's great. Here's some more information about that. Well, what do you think about supporting somebody who wants to make sure that, you have access to your own health care and you are able to put your kids through childcare? we sometimes overcomplicate the language and the conversations we're having. And what my biggest takeaway from that day is we really need to simplify it, speak in a way that people are having conversations on their streets, and there's nothing like spending a day with people actually in a community to be a huge reminder of that, Mika. So we'll have to ask Robin Young if she'll come brief the Democratic for head of caucus. Maybe she will. Who knows?
You know, we sit around this table and we talk about theories and then you see a woman who's raising 4 kids on $400 a week, and you go, nothing else matters to her. There's no argument other than guess what? We're going to figure out a way to make bread more affordable to you. I mean, there's just, you know, when it's about survival, when it's about these issues that just, they can't live. Now, you can scare them and say it could get worse. They could take your health care away. I mean, that's a strategy to go. But, you know, if she is representative of a big part of the populace, and she is, and now let's even factor in people who've seen their IRAs, not a woman like that necessarily, but who've seen their IRAs go down by 20, 25%. It's really tough, and I've come on the show and talked a lot about that. You got to scare people and make it about the Republicans that are crazy people. But even with the pending crazy, when you can't afford to buy the stuff that you were able to buy a year or 2 or 3 years ago, it's tough sledding. I hate to be negative ninny over here. I don't even know what the hell that means, but I am really scared about a bloodbath 10 days from now.